Welcome to Stogie Palace. I am your host, Chris. Today I have a Gurkha Class Regent Gran robusto. Got a really nice cocoa type of flavor there. Sweet with a different smell to it with it. It's hard to put my finger on. Sort of reminds me of Tiger Balm, if you're familiar with that kind of a menthol kind of smell. Smells good. So, might as well fire it up. I got a V-cut in there from my Calibri V-cutter, which has been pretty nice to work with lately. This one here is about 9 months old, 8 to 9 months old. Been around a while. Held up fairly well. I smoked this, I believe, once I got it, and then maybe one other time, and the rest have sat. Traded for some more since I liked them so much. This is a 5.7 inch by 52 ring gauge robusto box press. Very nice right off the bat. It's rated as a medium. There was a special back in October of 2014 where it was 10 cigars for $10, and there were 2 of these included in that. So this is basically $1. I already actually rated this, not in the video, but before I was making videos, so I figured I'd make a video of this. I gave it a 92. I've seen it mentioned elsewhere in other video reviews that right off the bat, initially it's very reminiscent of a Padron. It reminds me of the Padron only because of it looks like it, except it's not as pretty as far as the wrapper. It's a little more rustic looking. The box press, the coloring, the flavors initially. For a cheap cigar, which I don't know how much they are now, I'd have to take a look, but for $1, and I traded for a couple others, so they're basically nothing. It's a pretty nice cigar. If I was doing this blind taste testing, I would have guessed wrong on the wrapper. I never would have guessed it. To me, it's a lot like the Nicaraguan, like Padron would use, or maybe some other kind of Maduro. It's a Habano 2000. This is not a new cigar by any stretch. I mean, I've seen reviews as far back as 2006, 2007, so it's been around a while. It's probably changed a little since then, maybe not, I don't know. So far, this is a smoke bomb. Perfect draw, great smoke output. Really something else. I'll have to look at my old notes to see why I ended up with a 92. The binder supposedly is Indonesian and the filler Nicaraguan Dominican. So since this is not really a new cigar, you might be wondering, why am I bothering to review it for you? Well, I know a lot of you, like myself, use Cigar Bid. This is big on Cigar Bid, which is ran by Cigars International, who they sell these cigars. For you out there looking for value cigars, or curious if you're going to bid on something in Cigar Bid, you know, what other people have said about it, well, this is for you then. I know also that Gurkha, amongst some of the more hardcore cigar types that go with the more high-end cigars, that Gurkha gets a really bad rap. Well, I can only speak to this Gurkha, the Class Regent Gran, or also known maybe as just the Regent, and there might be different sizes. This is a pretty damn good cigar. The others, I have no idea. I mean, I've heard rumors that Gurkha uses lots of different factories, lots of different people make them for them. So, I mean, it's real hit and miss. The name doesn't have the prestige that it did. These are all things I've just heard from various places. Whoever's making this one is doing a pretty good job. This is a pretty nice cigar. So I will go further in it, and I will look at my old review notes and see why it took some hits here and there. And so far I like it a lot. I mean, it's burning well just by itself. You can see that. Smoke coming off both ends. Lots of it too. Look at that. I mean, it's just, you may not see it as well in the camera as I'm seeing in front of me, but lots of smoke, good draw. Very nice retro there. Some different flavors in that. While we're here, why not do a waft? That's pretty nice too. The smoke, that's most, I'm getting so much smoke off of here. The waft is just like a smoke waft. It's not, I usually try to get a little bit of smoke, but mostly the wrapper to see what the wrapper is doing. Very nice. All right, let's keep on going, see what happens. About 20 minutes into this Gurkha Class Regent Gran. Burn line, not too bad. Ash holding on really nice and tight. Smoke, like, well, you can see, it's just relentless. Plenty of smoke coming off of there. That initial kind of oomph at the beginning, that Padron-esque, Nica Libra-esque kind of nice little jolt there at the beginning, it's kind of backed off, and which is what I expected and remembered. But the draw, perfect. The flavor I was getting off of the cold draw is starting to come through now. I can't figure out what it is. I mentioned it like menthol or Tiger Balm kind of smell, eucalyptus maybe, you know, that kind of smell. It's real subtle, but it's there. Not much of a finish at all. No bitterness though. That's a good thing. I'll gladly sacrifice some of the flavor to not have the bitterness too. But I looked at my review of this one, and not really noted as a flavor bomb, just pretty smooth, no nicotine issues, medium strength. The last third though kind of got a little funky, a little bitter, wasn't as pleasant. I think that's where it started kind of going down in score. On Cigars International, what it says about it is the Gurkha Regent is a labor of love for Kay Hansotia, I guess is how you say his name, the owner of Gurkha. Always has been, always will be. The brand fell off the grid for a bit, but the blend was simply too damn good to let go forever. Now it's back and better than ever. The same 90 rated blend is at play too, but instead of expect prices to be much, much lower. This milky smooth Honduran handmade greets you with a gorgeous dark Honduran Habano 2000 wrapper that has a redolent, silky feel. It's a little toothy too. Beneath this velvet glove awaits a bevy of Nicaraguan Dominican long fillers, perfectly complementing one another. The smoke delivers a melting pot of toasty, yes, leathery, maybe, cedary, not yet, chocolatey, yes, medium-bodied flavors. It's been called one of the tastiest Gurkhas you can find, only one I've tried. In addition to having named one of the year's top 50 cigars, don't know what year that was, Gurkha Regent earned a solid 90 rating, noting this rich brown cigar burns evenly with a fine draw. It's elegant and balanced with black cherry flavors, notes of sweet spice, and a long leathery finish, and smooth. Ash just came off in one big chunk. Held together really good. These box presses are pretty nice, I must say. So you can't beat it for $1 or $2 cigar for sure. Let's keep going. About 45 minutes in. This thing, you can see the smoke just coming off. You know what that reminds me of? Reminds me of a cigarette sitting in an ashtray and just smoke just going straight up in that line. You see that right there? But that smoke pattern just reminds me. But what reminds me is that it's constantly smoking like a cigarette. In other words, it's staying lit, exceedingly so, which is fine with me. And the smoke output, I had to open up front and back door because the smoke is just prolific. Now, like I said, this is over 8 months old. I can't guarantee you buy one off Cigar Bit or somewhere else that it's going to perform as well as this. But the burn this time is going really well. The draw is perfect. Smoke output, like I said, is epic. Flavors. That cedar and leather is a pretty good description. No, I've never eaten leather, but you don't have to eat something to know what it smells like, and smell is most of what you taste. And yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. I mean, any kind of leather you've been around, whether it be in your car or a leather sofa or whatever, you can pick up that smell. It's kind of hard to describe what it smells like other than to say leather, but there's something else in there, a creaminess underneath it, especially here in the middle. Don't know how it's going to be at the end. I'm a little worried about that. That'll probably bring it back down to where it was before, but either way, this has been a really enjoyable cigar. The wrapper's holding up perfectly. No cracks, no issues. Can't complain about this one for sure. Now, you may not be able to get it for $1 or even $2. And Cigar International, they're $4 each in a 5-pack. So, worth $4? You be the judge of that. Flavor-wise, could be better, but it's not bad. It's just middle of the road. But either way, it's pretty. It reminds me a lot, actually, of the Nica Libre. I'll have to smoke another one, and I'm going to. I've got some Nica Libre Perfectos. That should be interesting. I've only smoked the Robusto, I think, or the Toro, one or the other. And I have a couple of each of those too. But anyway, back to this one though. Check in one more time. We're just past the band point here, which actually just rolled right off. Really nice looking band there. So let's keep on going. Great. Ash just fell off and missed the ashtray. It was holding on really nicely. I'm an hour and 10 minutes in to this Gurkha Class Regent Gran, and it's bumped up in my standings of cigars. I told you earlier that I gave 92 a few months ago. Let's get a 93. Here's why. First of all, it never even came close to going out. That's a huge plus in my book. Burn line, perfect. Draw, perfect. Smoke output epic. Flavors, I will say the flavor is probably the weak spot. It's not major shifts in there, not tons of complexity, but smooth from beginning to end. No harshness, maybe a little bit of bitterness here and there, the leather and cedar hanging on the finish a little bit. And the last third, the flavor kind of gets a little ashy, but I'll tell you what, $4, yeah, a little much. I don't know if I'd pay that much to get more, but if I were to get a whole bunch more at $1 to $2 each, I would, because these would be terrific to let friends have. You know, if you got some inexperienced smokers want to move up to these, to premium cigars, this would be great because they don't have to baby it. That's a big thing in my book. If you're out in the golf course or out anywhere else, you don't want to screw around with a cigar and relight it and touch up. Never had a problem with that. You just want to burn one, and if it goes, if you don't pay attention to it, you walk away, you forget about it, you know, whatever. That doesn't break the bank, but while you're smoking it, it's great. And I walked away from this a couple times for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, still just kept on smoking away. Come back to it right where it was. Great construction. Now, I will remind you again though, this one's been sitting for 8.5 months. Can't guarantee that right off the truck or even a month later. So these might be good just to buy, put in your humidor, forget about, come back to whenever you're just doing something, yard gar, whatever you want to call it. Because a lot of times when I think of yard gar, something you're smoking outside while you're doing yard work or doing something else, whatever, a lot of times you're going with something more mild so it doesn't kick your ass and make you feel all loopy. This one won't. Medium strength, if that, because I'm not feeling any nicotine. Any sweat I'm getting is because of the heat and humidity out here. So this is all around good cigar. Easily worth a 93, it's not higher just because the flavors could be better, could be more complex. But I don't know what they did with this to make it burn so well and so consistent. Maybe it's the age on it, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's good. It's good stuff. So thanks for watching. This is Chris at the Stogie Palace. This is the Gurkha Class Regent Gran, also known as the Regent, sometimes not known as the Gran. Either way, this is the Robusto. Perfect size, perfect ring gauge, what I like. Box press, pretty good. I don't know how much further I'm gonna go on it. This is probably gonna last an hour and 20 minutes pretty easily. Wrapper's holding together perfectly. It's not falling apart here at the end. It's still nice, tight construction. All around winner. So thanks for watching. I'll see you later.